The night sky above Earth was calm, quiet, and ordinary, or at least, it had seemed so until the first lights appeared. At first, people thought they were satellites, or maybe a strange meteor shower. But the lights moved too slowly, too deliberately, in perfect formation. In cities and towns, people stopped on streets, gazing upward. Phones and cameras were raised, capturing something no one could understand. The lights were enormous, too large to be planes or balloons. They shimmered like metal dipped in sunlight, reflecting the city lights below. In the observatory on the edge of the city, Maya sat frozen, her eyes glued to the telescope. Numbers and readings flashed across her screen, but nothing made sense. "This is impossible," she whispered. The shapes were not natural. Their energy signatures were off the charts. She had studied stars, comets, even distant black holes, but this was something entirely different. She tried to call the authorities, but every signal in the city flickered and went silent. It was as if the night itself had swallowed the world's voice. Meanwhile, across the galaxy, the Galactic Council was watching. Leaders of countless civilizations sat in silent chambers, their eyes on huge screens showing Earth from space. They were supposed to protect weaker planets, maintain peace, and stop invasions before they began. But when they saw the ships, something strange happened. Fear. A deep, paralyzing fear spread through the council halls. These ships were unlike anything they had ever seen. Weapons glowed along their edges, but the council could not even identify their technology. Some leaders whispered about the end of Earth. Others simply sat frozen, unable to act. Back on Earth, a shadow passed over the city. People screamed, cars honked, and lights flickered. Maya's heart pounded as she realized that the largest of the ships was moving closer. It descended slowly, silently, as if testing the world below. Its surface rippled like liquid metal. And then, a pulse of energy exploded outward. Buildings shook. Windows shattered. Communications blacked out completely. The world felt paralyzed, small and fragile under the massive presence in the sky. In the streets, chaos grew. People ran, trying to find shelter, while some stopped to stare at the impossible sight. Soldiers scrambled, but their weapons seemed useless. Jets were called, but they vanished in the sky without a trace. Panic spread like fire, yet among it, a strange sense of awe lingered. The ships were beautiful, terrifying, and utterly alien. Maya ran to the main console of the observatory, trying to make sense of the signals. She saw strange patterns, symbols pulsing across the screen, like a language that was not meant to be understood. Her hands shook as she typed commands, trying to decode anything. And then she saw it, a message. Not words, not sentences, just a rhythm of pulses. But it was intelligent. It was communicating. And it was powerful. From the control room of the Galactic Council, leaders debated. Should they warn Earth directly? Should they attack the ships? Or should they wait and see? But hesitation was their enemy. Every second wasted gave the alien ships more control over the planet. The Council's usual authority, their pride, their confidence, all of it faltered in the face of this unknown threat. Fear had frozen their judgment. Maya knew she could not wait for anyone else to act. She sent her own signal, a simple burst into space, hoping someone, or something, would respond. Her fingers hovered over the console, watching the ships above as if they could notice her small act. She felt tiny, insignificant, but also strangely determined. Humanity could not stand idle. Not yet. The largest ship moved again, descending lower, closer to the heart of the city. Its surface shimmered and opened slightly, revealing a dark interior that seemed endless. Lights flashed along its edges, almost like eyes scanning the earth below. And then, just as suddenly, a beam of energy shot toward a distant park, burning and freezing everything it touched. Trees turned to ash in seconds. A group of cars vanished in a flash of white light. Screams echoed through the city. Maya backed away from the telescope, her mind racing. She realized she was witnessing the beginning of a war she did not understand. The invaders were not just strong, they were smarter, faster, and far more terrifying than anything humanity had imagined. Yet something inside her refused to give in to fear. She had to find a way to fight back, even if it was just to survive another day. As the city quaked and sirens wailed, Maya looked up again. The largest ship hovered above the tallest skyscraper. The pulsing lights from its hull reflected in her wide eyes. And then, without warning, a figure, like a shadow, emerged from the ship. It did not walk or float. It simply appeared, standing tall against the glowing metal. Its form was alien, yet strangely human-like, with glowing eyes that seemed to pierce through the darkness. Maya's breath caught in her throat. She knew, in that moment, that Earth was no longer alone. Something had come for them, and the world would never be the same again. The question was not if humanity could fight back, but how, and whether it could do so before it was too late. And then the shadow moved, stepping toward the edge of the ship. The city below held its breath. The night had turned into a battlefield, and no one yet knew who would survive. The morning after the first attack, the city looked like a ghost town. Smoke rose from burning buildings, cars were overturned, and streets were empty except for emergency crews. People whispered about the alien ships, but no one knew what they wanted or why they had come. Fear hung in the air like thick fog. Maya moved through the ruins with Dr. Kane, a scientist she had met at the observatory. He was older, calm under pressure, and had a mind that could see patterns where others saw only chaos. "We need to understand them," he said. "If we can decode their signals, maybe we can fight back." They returned to the observatory, where Maya's telescope and computers hummed softly. The signals she had noticed the night before were still pulsing. She pointed to the screen. "They're intelligent. They're watching us. But there's a pattern. I think it's a language." Dr. Kane frowned. "If it's a language, it's not like anything humans know. We need to be careful. Any mistake could make them angry." Above Earth, the largest ship stayed in orbit, motionless yet alive with energy. Smaller ships patrolled the skies, scanning cities and towns. Military forces tried to engage, but every attack failed. Bullets and missiles vanished in midair, shredded by unseen shields. Helicopters were knocked from the sky. People realized quickly that their technology was useless against the invaders. Meanwhile, the Galactic Council still watched from far away. Some leaders argued that Earth was hopeless and should be abandoned. Others believed intervention was necessary, but fear and indecision slowed them. One council member, a quiet figure named Lyra, disagreed. She sent a small scout ship toward Earth secretly, hoping to assess the situation without alerting the main invaders. Back on Earth, Maya worked tirelessly. She studied the signals, tracing patterns in the pulses. Slowly, she began to understand them. The messages were warnings, threats, and instructions. But hidden inside, she noticed fragments of information about the aliens' weaknesses. It was subtle, almost like a secret left in plain sight. Dr. Kane joined her, pointing at the patterns. "Look at this," he said. "Their shields pulse in cycles. There is a moment when they are weaker. We might be able to use it." Excited and fearful at the same time, Maya nodded. "We have to tell someone. If humans don't know, we're done for." But before they could act, one of the smaller alien ships landed near the observatory. Its surface shimmered, reflecting the ruined streets. From it, a figure emerged. It was humanoid but taller and thinner than any human. Its skin was dark and metallic, and its eyes glowed like liquid fire. People froze in terror as it walked calmly toward the building. Maya and Dr. Kane hid behind computers, holding their breath. The alien stopped near the entrance and seemed to scan the area. Then it spoke, not in words, but in a series of pulses and tones. The sound vibrated in the air and through the floor. Maya realized this was part of the alien language she had been decoding. She whispered to Dr. Kane, "I think it's trying to communicate." She stepped forward slowly, holding her hand out, and pressed a small device she had built to mimic the pulse patterns. The alien paused, its glowing eyes focusing on her. Slowly, It moved back toward the ship. It seemed curious. For the first time, Maya felt a small hope. Maybe humans could understand them. Maybe humans could fight back. But the city outside was still in chaos. Fires burned, alarms screamed, and people hid in basements and alleys. The alien presence was overwhelming, but not unbeatable. Far above, the Galactic Council still argued. Lyra's scout ship sent data back. The council leaders finally saw the truth. Earth was fighting back, even without their help. And that realization changed everything. Some members wanted to act immediately, but others hesitated, afraid of losing control. Fear was still stronger than courage, but cracks had begun to form in their paralysis. On the streets, the alien ship's smaller units patrolled relentlessly. Humans tried to resist with whatever they had, cars as barricades, improvised weapons, and daring attacks, but each attempt failed. Maya realized that resistance alone would not be enough. They needed strategy, intelligence, and courage combined. That night, she returned to her observatory. The largest alien ship loomed overhead, massive and silent. Its lights reflected across the windows. She looked at the signals again, tracing the hidden weaknesses. "We can't wait for someone else," she whispered. "If we want to survive, we have to act ourselves." And then, her computer beeped urgently. A new signal appeared, different from the others. It was rapid, strong, and almost urgent. Maya leaned closer. She realized it was not from the aliens. It was from the Galactic Council. Or at least from someone within it. A small voice from the stars had reached them. Someone wanted to help. But could humanity trust them? And would it be enough to stop the coming attack? Outside, the city held its breath once more. The largest ship pulsed in the sky, like a heartbeat of metal and fire. Maya knew that tomorrow would be worse. The aliens were preparing for something. Something terrible. And Earth had only one chance to survive. The morning sun barely broke through the thick smoke that covered the city. People were hiding in basements and ruined buildings, whispering about what had happened. Fear was everywhere. The alien ships still hovered above, casting long shadows over the streets, like giants watching a tiny, fragile world. Maya and Dr. Kane worked tirelessly at the observatory. The pulses from the alien ships had changed overnight. They were faster, sharper, almost urgent. Maya's eyes darted across the screens. "They're communicating with each other now," she said. "And I think they're aware of us. Of Earth itself." Dr. Kane leaned closer. "We can't let them get inside our systems. If they hack our communications, our military is useless. And that's exactly what they want." Suddenly, a shadow fell across the building. One of the smaller alien ships had landed nearby. Its surface shimmered with a strange, dark metal. Slowly, a figure emerged. It moved with a calm, almost eerie grace, taller than any human. Its metallic skin glinted in the faint light. Its glowing eyes scanned the streets and then stopped on Maya. Maya froze. She had seen the figure from a distance before, but now it was close, studying her. The alien's form was humanoid, but perfect in a way humans were not. Every movement was precise, controlled, and intelligent. Its eyes pulsed as if sending a message. Dr. Kane whispered, "It's trying to communicate. I think it wants to talk." Maya took a deep breath and activated her pulse device. She sent the signal she had decoded from the alien messages the night before. The alien tilted its head, studying the signals carefully. Then, in a series of short bursts, it responded. Maya's heart raced. She could feel the intelligence behind each pulse. The alien was thinking, planning, observing. Suddenly, the alien moved closer to the edge of the ship and gestured toward the city. In its pulses, there was a warning. A threat. Humans could not ignore it. A sudden beam of energy shot from the ship toward a distant park. Trees and cars were incinerated instantly. People screamed. Maya ducked, covering her head, her pulse device still active. Dr. Kane grabbed her arm. "They're testing us," he shouted. "They want to see how we respond. This is not random." Maya nodded. "I know. But I think they made a mistake. They think we're weak, but we're learning." At the same time, the Galactic Council watched from across the galaxy. Their debate had grown louder, more urgent. Some leaders argued that Earth was lost and should be abandoned. Others saw the signs of resistance and wanted to act. Lyra, the quiet council member who had secretly sent a scout ship, argued passionately. "They are fighting back. Earth is not ready to die quietly. If we intervene carefully, we might save them and gain allies in the process." The council's discussion, however, was slow. Fear still held them in its grip. Too many leaders hesitated. Too many wanted to watch, not act. But time was running out. The aliens had already begun their systematic survey of Earth. Back on the streets, human attempts to resist were growing bolder. Small groups tried to fight back using fire, rocks, even homemade explosives. Most attempts failed, but some surprised the aliens, revealing small weaknesses in their patrol patterns. Maya noticed these patterns and quickly analyzed them on her computer. There was a rhythm to the aliens' movements. A cycle. A moment when their shields dropped slightly. Dr. Kane leaned over her shoulder. "If we can coordinate something, even small, we could strike back. Not to win, but to survive." As night fell, the largest alien ship hovered above the tallest skyscraper. Its lights pulsed rhythmically, like a heartbeat. From inside, the shadowy figures watched. They were aware of every movement on the streets below, every whisper, every heartbeat of fear. And yet, they did not fully understand humanity's determination. Maya stood at the observatory's balcony, looking up at the ship. Her pulse device buzzed faintly in her hands. The aliens had communicated once, but they had not expected humans to respond intelligently. She realized that intelligence, cunning, and courage could become humanity's greatest weapons. Suddenly, a new signal appeared on her computer. This one was not from the aliens. It was different, faster, clearer. Someone, or something, was sending help. A fragment of hope in the darkest night. Maya stared at the screen, heart pounding. She did not know if she could trust it. But she understood one thing clearly: humanity could not wait for the Galactic Council to save them. They had to act. Outside, the alien ship pulsed again, brighter than before, and a deep hum vibrated through the city. Maya swallowed hard. The night had become a battlefield. The first real contact had been made, and both sides were testing each other. The aliens were powerful. The humans were scared. But the fight for Earth was only beginning. And Maya knew that tomorrow, everything would change. The city was quiet now, but the silence was dangerous. Fires still smoldered in the streets, and the hum of alien energy lingered in the air. People stayed indoors, afraid to step outside, while soldiers patrolled cautiously, their weapons useless against the invaders. Maya and Dr. Kane worked tirelessly in the observatory. The pulse signals from the aliens were repeating in patterns now, almost predictable. Maya traced the patterns carefully. "I think I found something," she said. "There's a moment when their shields drop. Very short, but it's there. If we act fast, we could strike." Dr. Kane nodded, eyes serious. "It's risky. One mistake, and we're gone. But it's our only chance." They gathered a small group of volunteers, scientists, engineers, and brave civilians willing to fight. They called themselves the Resistance. They did not have the alien weapons, but they had intelligence, courage, and determination. Every move was planned carefully. They used the city's rubble, hidden streets, and abandoned buildings to stay safe. Small victories came first. The Resistance set traps for the patrol ships. One ship followed a narrow street and got stuck in a rigged electric field. Sparks flew, metal twisted, and the ship vanished in a burst of smoke. The team cheered quietly, knowing every victory was small but important. Maya's pulse device became their guide. She sent signals to confuse the aliens, tricking them into moving in wrong directions. The aliens were intelligent, but they had not expected humans to fight back with cleverness rather than brute force. Each night, the resistance grew bolder, striking quickly and disappearing before the aliens could respond fully. Meanwhile, the Galactic Council still watched. Lyra, the council member who believed in humanity, was sending small covert support, supplies, communications tips, and hidden information about the aliens. Most council leaders still refused to act openly, afraid of the unknown. But secretly, Lyra knew Earth could survive if humans and the council worked together carefully. Back on the streets, the aliens became frustrated. Their patrols were being disrupted. Their precision, once perfect, was now tested by human cunning. One of their ships landed near the city center, its glowing eyes searching for the resistance. Maya's pulse device buzzed urgently. She realized it had detected a shield drop cycle, a rare moment when they could strike. "Now," she whispered. The team moved quickly. Engineers jammed the ship's energy field while civilians created diversions. Sparks and alarms lit the night. The alien ship's shields flickered, just for a moment. That moment was enough. A small explosion rocked the ship, sending it staggering backward. The resistance had won, but barely. They celebrated quietly, knowing the aliens would come back stronger. Maya looked at the sky. The largest alien ship still hovered above, silent and waiting. It had not acted yet, but she could feel its attention shifting toward the resistance. Dr. Kane put a hand on her shoulder. "They are learning. So are we. Tomorrow will be harder." Maya nodded. She knew he was right. Humanity had taken its first steps into a larger battle. They were weak, unarmed, but clever. They had courage. And sometimes, courage was enough. The city remained tense, but hope had grown. People whispered about the resistance, about a small group of humans daring to fight monsters from the stars. Fear was still strong, but it was mixed now with something new, defiance. Outside the observatory, the night sky shimmered with alien lights. The pulse of the largest ship was slow and steady, like a heartbeat, watching, waiting. The resistance had proven they could fight, but the real battle had not yet begun. Maya held her pulse device tightly. She knew this was only the start. The aliens had underestimated humans, and that mistake could change everything. But she also knew that survival would not be easy. Every plan, every move would count. And above all, she knew one truth clearly. The fight for Earth had begun in earnest, and nothing would ever be the same again. The city was no longer completely silent. People peeked from windows and rooftops, whispering about the resistance. Rumors spread of humans daring to fight the alien invaders, using clever tricks to survive. The fear that had dominated the city began to mix with hope. Maya and Dr. Kane worked day and night, decoding alien signals, planning their next moves. Each success, however small, had drawn attention from the largest alien ship. Its pulsing lights above the city seemed to follow them wherever they went. Meanwhile, far across the galaxy, the Galactic Council had finally begun to stir. Lyra's warnings had reached more leaders, and some were no longer willing to wait. They saw the courage of humanity, the cleverness of Maya and her team, and the determination of the resistance. For the first time, the Council discussed intervention, not as observers, but as allies. A small fleet was dispatched secretly. Their ships were fast and advanced, designed to match alien technology. Lyra coordinated with Maya remotely, sending hidden messages to guide human strategy. "We can help," Lyra's message read, "but Earth must still fight. You are not alone now." Back on Earth, Maya read the message with a mixture of relief and caution. She knew that the Council's help was powerful, but she also knew they could not rely entirely on outsiders. Humanity had to act first, with courage and intelligence. That night, the largest alien ship moved closer. Its energy pulsed like a giant heart, illuminating the city below. Smaller patrol ships scanned the streets, searching for signs of the resistance. Maya held her pulse device tightly. Every pattern she had decoded was now a lifeline. She sent carefully timed signals to confuse the alien patrols, creating small openings for the resistance to move. Dr. Kane gathered the team. Tonight, we strike at their supply units. We can't destroy the mothership, but we can slow them down. Timing is everything. The resistance moved quickly through the streets, using shadows and abandoned buildings for cover. Explosions rocked empty streets as they sabotaged alien energy units. Sparks flew, and alarms blared, but each strike was precise. The aliens, powerful as they were, began to show frustration. Their movements became less coordinated, more predictable. Above the city, the largest ship pulsed rapidly. Its attention was divided, scanning multiple targets at once. Maya realized something critical. The aliens were starting to adapt, but too slowly. Humans could still use cunning and strategy to stay ahead. From the Galactic Council, Lyra's fleet approached unseen, hidden by advanced cloaking technology. Their goal was to strike at the aliens at a critical moment, giving Earth a chance to survive. But the Council's fleet was small, and every move had to be perfect. One mistake, and both humans and allies could be destroyed. As the night deepened, Maya and Dr. Kane watched the city from the observatory. Fires burned in the distance, smoke rising in thick columns. The resistance had achieved small victories, but the aliens were far from defeated. The largest ship pulsed above them, a reminder of the enormous power they faced. Maya's pulse device buzzed again. Another signal, from Lyra this time, appeared on the screen. It contained a warning and a plan. "The fleet is close," the message read. "They will help, but we must act first. Humanity cannot wait." Dr. Kane nodded. "We've come this far. We can't stop now. We fight together, humans and allies, or we fall separately." Maya stared at the sky. The night was alive with alien energy, patrols moving like silent predators. But for the first time, she saw a glimmer of hope. The Council's intervention was near, and humans had already proven they could fight back. The city held its breath. The largest ship hovered above, massive and still, watching. And for the first time, it seemed almost cautious. Humanity had shown it could be clever, brave, and unpredictable. Tomorrow, the real battle would begin. Not just the resistance alone, not just humans fighting for survival, but humans with allies, facing a threat far larger than Earth had ever known. The fate of the planet, and perhaps the galaxy, would depend on courage, strategy, and the willingness to fight against impossible odds. Maya clenched her fists, feeling the weight of responsibility. She knew the aliens were powerful, but humanity had something the invaders had not counted on: determination. And that determination could change everything. The city slept uneasily under the watchful eyes of the alien mothership, but a spark of defiance had been lit. Earth was no longer a victim. Humanity was ready to fight. The sun rose over a city scarred by fire and destruction, but it did not bring peace. Alien ships still hovered above, their massive shadows stretching across streets and buildings. The largest ship pulsed steadily, like a heartbeat, warning humanity that it was far from defeated. Maya and Dr. Kane stood on the observatory balcony, looking over the city. The resistance had grown bolder with each passing day, but the cost was heavy. Fires still burned, buildings lay in ruins, and civilians moved cautiously, afraid of the next attack. "We can't hold them off forever," Dr. Kane said. "We need to act now, or everything we've done will be lost." Maya nodded, gripping her pulse device. "Tonight, we strike at their core," she said. "We know the patterns. We know their weaknesses. If we are precise, we can turn the tide." The resistance moved silently through the streets, carrying makeshift weapons, explosives, and electronic devices to disrupt alien systems. Every step was calculated. Every action could mean life or death. Above the city, the largest ship reacted to their movements. Its lights pulsed rapidly, scanning for threats. Smaller ships patrolled the skies and streets, ready to strike anyone who dared challenge them. But Maya's team had a plan. They knew the cycles, the moments when shields dropped, and the weaknesses in alien patrols. Suddenly, alarms blared across the city as a small squadron of alien scouts approached. The resistance split, hiding in shadows and abandoned buildings. Sparks flew as makeshift traps triggered, throwing the aliens off balance. One scout ship was trapped in a net of energy disruptors, and another collided with a wall, twisting and falling apart. From the skies above, the Galactic Council's fleet appeared, cloaked until the perfect moment. Their advanced ships moved swiftly, striking at key alien units while avoiding full engagement with the massive mothership. The battle was coordinated with the resistance on the ground, a perfect combination of intelligence, courage, and timing. Maya's pulse device buzzed urgently. She traced the signals of the largest ship, noticing a slight fluctuation in its energy pattern. "Now!" she shouted to Dr. Kane. The resistance triggered the synchronized plan. Explosives detonated near critical alien supply units. Electrical pulses from the device interfered with their shields. The city shook under the force of controlled explosions and energy bursts. The aliens reacted quickly, firing beams of light into the streets, knocking debris into the air. Buildings collapsed, fires flared, and smoke turned night into a smoky haze. Yet, the resistance pressed on, using intelligence and cunning rather than brute force. They outsmarted patrols, avoided deadly blasts, and exploited every moment when alien shields flickered. The largest ship pulsed angrily above, unleashing a massive beam toward the resistance. Maya pressed her device harder, sending pulses timed with the alien ship cycles. The beam missed by inches, destroying an empty street instead. Dr. Kane guided civilians to safer zones while the resistance kept attacking critical units. The Galactic Council fleet joined the fight openly, striking at smaller alien ships. Their weapons were precise, targeting weak points exposed by Maya's calculations. Slowly, the tide began to shift. Alien patrols faltered. Their shields flickered. The massive mothership above pulsed with frustration, but its power was now being tested by human cunning and the Council's intervention. Hours passed like minutes in the chaos. Sparks, fire, and beams of energy lit the night sky. Humanity, small and fragile, was fighting monsters from the stars, and for the first time, they were winning. Each success was small, but together they were powerful. Finally, the largest ship staggered, its pulsing energy faltering. Maya and Dr. Kane exchanged a glance. The moment had come. Using every pulse signal and exploit they had discovered, the resistance focused all their efforts on the alien mothership. Explosions rocked the ship. Energy shields failed. Lights flickered and dimmed. The aliens were powerful, faster, and smarter than anything humans had faced before, but they had underestimated intelligence, courage, and determination. The city trembled under the final strikes, but humanity's defiance had turned the tide. Above, the largest ship wavered, then slowly began to retreat. Smaller patrols followed. The alien fleet pulled back into space, leaving the battered city behind. Humanity had survived the night, battered but alive. Maya stood on the observatory balcony, looking up at the retreating ships. Her pulse device hummed softly in her hands. She knew the aliens would return, but she also knew humans had proven something important, that courage, intelligence, and determination could challenge even the most powerful beings in the galaxy. The city was scarred, but alive. Fires burned down, smoke faded, and survivors emerged from hiding. Maya looked at Dr. Kane. "We won tonight," she said. "But this is only the beginning. They will return, and next time, we must be ready." Dr. Kane nodded. "We have the courage. We have the knowledge. And now, we have proof that humans can fight, and win, against impossible odds." The night was quiet again, but it was a quiet born of victory, not fear. Humanity had faced the impossible, and survived. The morning sun rose over a city that looked broken but alive. Streets were filled with dust and rubble, buildings were scarred, and smoke rose in thin columns from smoldering fires. But the city was not empty. People came out of hiding, helping each other, checking on neighbors, and slowly beginning to rebuild. Maya stood on the observatory balcony, her pulse device silent now. She looked up at the sky, still dotted with faint stars. The alien fleet had retreated. For now, Earth was safe. But she knew this victory was only temporary. The largest ship and its army had been forced to retreat, not destroyed. The threat was still out there, somewhere in the vastness of space. Dr. Kane joined her. "We've survived the first strike," he said, voice calm but tired. "But we can't relax. They will return, and next time, they will come stronger." Maya nodded. "Yes. But we have something they don't expect, us. Humanity has courage, intelligence, and the will to survive. We fought when we had no choice, and we won. That matters." Across the city, survivors were helping each other salvage supplies, put out remaining fires, and rescue trapped civilians. The resistance had become a symbol of hope. Ordinary people realized that even the smallest acts of bravery could make a difference. Humanity had stood against a threat far larger than themselves, and survived. Far above Earth, the Galactic Council observed quietly. Lyra's fleet had returned to the shadows, cloaked, watching from afar. The council leaders who had doubted humanity now saw the truth. Humans were stronger than they looked. They had courage and ingenuity, and those qualities could make them allies, or even leaders, in the galaxy. Back on Earth, Maya and Dr. Kane gathered with the resistance. They discussed rebuilding, preparing for future threats, and training others to defend themselves. It was clear that this was not the end of the struggle, but the beginning of a new era. Humans could no longer wait for protection from outside, they had to be ready to fight for themselves. As night fell, the city was quiet again, but it was a different quiet this time. People walked cautiously through the streets, helping each other, rebuilding, and sharing stories of bravery. The sky was clear, dotted with stars, and in that vastness, there was both warning and promise. Somewhere out there, the aliens watched. They had been defeated, for now, but they had seen that Earth's defenders were clever, resourceful, and strong. Maya looked at the stars, pulse device in hand, and whispered, "We've survived this time. But the galaxy is watching. And we will be ready." The city, scarred but alive, held its breath and hope together. Humanity had proven itself. Against impossible odds, they had fought. They had survived. And they would continue to fight, not just for Earth, but for the right to exist, to be strong, and to face the unknown with courage. Somewhere in the darkness of space, shadows moved. The aliens had not given up. But Earth had changed. Humans were no longer the helpless planet they once were. They had survived, learned, and grown. And that knowledge would guide them when the next threat came. The night was calm. For the first time in a long time, humanity could breathe. But their eyes were open, their minds alert, and their hearts ready. The battle was over, for now, but the story of humanity's courage had just begun.